In Look East this lunchtime, business leaders urge the government to follow through on a promise to set up investment zones in the region. How the BBC's Children in Need is helping a parent and toddler group face the rise in the cost of living.
And an unsettled week with wet and windy conditions across the region today. Join me at the end of the programme for the very latest weather.
Hello. First, this lunchtime, the government's being urged to stick with plans to set up investment zones in the region. Businesses who move to the zones will pay less tax to help them grow. The zones were proposed before Liz Truss resigned as Prime Minister, but business leaders are hoping it will still happen. Here's our political correspondent, Andrew Sinclair.
This is part of the Lowestoft Enterprise Zone. It was set up 10 years ago, offering tax breaks to firms prepared to relocate here, like this office furniture company.
As part of the Enterprise Zone, it was business rates free for 5 years, which meant we didn't have to find that money. We could use that money elsewhere in the business. We could plan for 5 years, knowing that we didn't have to pay business rates as well.
And if there hadn't been those benefits, you might not have come here.
No, we would have looked elsewhere.
Essex and Suffolk Water moved their call centre to Lowestoft because of the tax breaks on offer. In the 10 years that it's been going, the Enterprise Zone has created more than 2,000 jobs.
Growth, growth and growth.
The Liz Truss government was obsessed by growth, and one of its big ideas was to create more enterprise zones. But this time, they'd be called investment zones, with more tax breaks and relaxed planning laws. The idea to encourage businesses to invest and to drive growth. Local councils were asked where the new zone should go. Suffolk suggested Lowestoft again, where the Inner Harbour is being developed, along with 11 other sites. Norfolk has put forward 20 sites. But the new Chancellor has hinted that investment zones might be too expensive and may be scaled back or scrapped altogether.
It's really important that we have incentives to businesses to continue to invest. We know we're entering a recession. We know there will be cuts to public services, public expenditure. So it's all the more important that businesses are incentivised and given that extra boost.
As always, local business is hoping for more investment in roads and skills training. But this time, there's one other thing they're particularly desperate for.
They'd love to have the ability to have the stability to plan long term. That is currently missing. So whatever the Chancellor does, we are looking for long-term plans that give us stability, that give businesses confidence to make their own investments.
Back in Lowestoft, Martin's business is still expanding and he's taking on more staff. Many firms believe they can do more to drive growth, but they need the right help from the Chancellor. Andrew Sinclair, BBC Look East.
Bedfordshire police have arrested a man after 2 men were stabbed to death in Houghton Regis early on Sunday morning. A third man remains in hospital. Police say the man in his 30s was arrested yesterday on suspicion of 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. They appraised the response of the public and say they received an incredible amount of information. There's been another case of bird flu in the region, this time in Northamptonshire. The outbreak of the deadly H5N1 strain is at a commercial poultry unit near Oundle. It comes just a day after an outbreak at a farm near Halesworth in Suffolk. All birds at both sites will be humanely culled. A £6 billion plan to tackle water shortages in the east of England has been published this week. The plan, by an independent body that works with major water companies called Water Resources East, says householders need to take urgent action.
At the heart of our plan is, first of all, using less water. I think it's incumbent on all of us as householders and businesses to use as little water as possible, because it all has to come from somewhere. So about a quarter of our plan is about managing water more efficiently, including for water companies to cut leakage down to even further to record low levels.
It's BBC Children in Need Week. The big yellow bear is out of hibernation once more. Last year, you raised £51 million, and some of that money is already going to work in our region. One project benefiting is the Little Pals Parent and Toddler Group at Jaywick in Essex, an area regarded as one of the most disadvantaged in the country. The looming recession is already affecting many charities, so every penny helps to keep children shielded from the cost of living crisis.
We're in what class as a vulnerable area, so obviously we offer the toddler group for the vulnerable families. So obviously a lot of our families don't drive, so it's on their doorstep. We're a charity-run nursery, so you know it's just as important for all our parents to access all the groups as best they can.
For me, it's really important for these children, these families particularly, it's important that we have different groups, different days that parents, grandparents and families, carers can access. And it's Children in Need funding provides exactly that.
You love that. I think the fact that it's funded and the children, they get, you know, all the activities, the snacks. I love that they can come and make the mess here and all the resources they give. I couldn't necessarily be buying out each week at home to entertain her. And from last week, she's just started crawling and everyone celebrates it with you. So it's fab that we all enjoy milestones together. I think we're really lucky that we get this, really.
I don't get a lot of adult conversation, so it's so nice to come to group to have adults that be the same. Does that make sense? Like you can open up and just be you and not have to worry about being a parent 24/7. So it's really lovely. This area definitely needs it. We don't get a lot. We don't get a lot of support. We definitely are one of the most deprived areas. So it's lovely to have these groups be running, because I think a lot of parents sit at home and think, oh, what should I do? And they just don't go out then. So it is lovely to have them running.
If these opportunities weren't here, children wouldn't have an opportunity to socialise and parents and grandparents wouldn't have an opportunity to make friends, and they'll go out and they'll do things outside of the group. So that reduces some of that loneliness, that social isolation that can come from being a young parent, a new parent. So all of these types of group activities they have here at Little Pals is really, really important for families.
Yes, I'll do you as well.
Plenty of great stories to come this week, I am sure. Right, a very mixed bag with the weather. Here's Alex.
That's a good way of putting it, Louise. Yes, some beautiful autumn colours in a Norwich Park this morning, concealing what is a rather grey and wet day. It has become quite wet across all areas, and it's tied into this weather front here, which has been slowly pushing eastwards, bringing us some outbreaks of rain, also accompanied by gusty winds, and wind gusts this afternoon of between 30 and 40 miles an hour. And under that cloud, temperatures not climbing higher than 12 degrees. So still blustery, some uncertainty on how quickly that rain will clear away, but it should clear away. And for some of us, maybe into the west, we could see some late brightness, but then into the evening and overnight, there's possibility of still some sharp showers following on behind. Quite a bit of the area will be clear and dry towards the end of the night, and therefore quite cool, with lows of 5 or 6 Celsius. So the reason for those showers is this little weather feature here. So we could see some showers first thing tomorrow morning, and then a drier slot of weather before something quite wet and windy comes in for tomorrow night and into Thursday. So yes, some sunshine first thing, some blustery showers around, still a bit breezy through the day tomorrow, but a good deal of dry weather with some sunshine for the afternoon, and once more temperatures around 11 or 12 degrees, and then that area of rain is going to come through for Wednesday night, so it could be really wet and windy for Wednesday night and into Thursday. Bar the odd shower though, Thursday looks as though it will be dry, the wind's easing down, and then it's looking a little chilly as we get to the end of the week, but with some more settled weather and some sunshine. Louise.
Alex, thank you very much. Well, that's it for now. Look East is back at 6:30. Have a good afternoon.